Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 2 of Nolan's Aviation Happy Hour. I'm very pleased to introduce our first guest to the program, my good friend Ryan, also known as Flying with Ryan over on Instagram is where you can find him. We have done some trips together in the past. You've probably seen him on the channel. Actually, the very first video I ever posted was with Ryan on the program. You can go find him giving us a thumbs up for like 2 seconds, I think, in my
It's not even that. It's less than a second, man.
my first video. I really didn't want him to get the screen time in that video, but we got him here, and Ryan will be featured on the channel in an upcoming video in the next I'm gonna say month and a half, something like that. So stay tuned for that as well. We are going to talk a lot about aviation this evening, so grab a drink, come on and join us, and we're gonna get anything going that we can. Ryan, would you like to say anything to everybody out there this evening?
Well, thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah,
I'm
no
happy to
problem.
be here.
Yep.
Happy to help with the channel growth and all the stuff that you're trying to do. Yeah, that was indeed a very interesting trip that is well documented on your YouTube channel. Not many people get stuck in Salt Lake City, Utah, but we sure did.
And it turned into a good thing, I think. I mean, we had a great time on that flight back to DCA and the Delta Sky Club the next morning. I mean, we were very upset about the whole situation when it happened, but it turned out to be a pretty fun end to our trip out there.
For for this scenario that we found ourselves in, yeah, it really couldn't have ended up much better. Delta's people eventually took care of us after slighting us at first, but yeah, they took care of us, and the best thing is that we ended up with a great story out of it.
We really did. And my first ride on an A321neo. Was that your first ride on a 321neo?
No,
Okay. All right.
I had been on one also on Delta from Seattle to JFK back in like 22, I
I
think.
do I do remember that now. I do. So you're a big aviation guy. How long have you been in the world of aviation following? We're gonna do an interview portion before we get into
That's
anything
cool.
else. I think that's a good
That's cool.
start here. How long have you been into aviation? What's your earliest aviation memory?
Well, I guess it was probably like fighter jets. I mean, I think that's how like all kids kind of get into it. But yeah, like I love the Ace Combat games when I was a kid. Just, arcade style, flying around, shooting the bad guys down. So I've always liked planes and stuff. And then my my parents kind of went back to work as soon as I started going into school. And so I had an aunt that lived very near my school that I went to, and so she would pick me up from school and watch me after until my dad got off. And on nice days, we would go straight from school over to Dixon, the plane park at BWI, and we just sit there and watch planes come in. And from then on, I mean, just always, I don't know, man, seeing a big metal bird flying through the sky, it just tickles something in my brain.
Really
So
get you going, doesn't it?
it sure does.
Ah,
It sure does. And
yeah.
now I'm an adult and I can do stupid things like book flights to nowhere for no reason with my two friends that somehow have the same exact interest as me.
Yeah, we were supposed to have Fred on the show this evening. Unfortunately, he couldn't join us, but we will definitely have him on a future episode. So, yeah. All right, Dakota's ready to hear about Southwest. So, Ryan, are you ready to talk about Southwest?
I'm absolutely ready to talk about South. This is an
So,
airline that is near and dear to my heart.
I mean, we're both in the Baltimore area. We both fly out of BWI more than any other airport out there, and Southwest is the one carrier at BWI that has an absolutely dominating presence. So, they've been going through a lot of changes. There's a song about that out there somewhere, I'm sure. But
I'm
yep,
going through change.
there we
Okay.
go. See, Fred wouldn't know that. Fred wouldn't know that.
No,
Fred would not do
no,
that.
Fred.
So
Fred doesn't know any music
so
at all.
there
Actually,
is there's actually a Facebook group out there dedicated to the complaints of Southwest Airlines. And people aren't happy about these changes. It started last year
you
with
don't say.
It started last year with the bags no longer fly free, and now this year it has gone into something that personally think is a net positive for the airline. I don't have a problem with assigned seating and
No,
a
I don't
different
either.
a different way to board the plane. However, the Southwest lifers out there do not agree with me, and
Do you think these people have literally never flown an airline that's not Southwest?
I think there's a solid chance out that there are people who have never flown with another airline besides Southwest.
It, it's the only thing that I can think of as the case because some of these complaints are just I don't know. Hold on. Can
So,
I can I can I can we address Mr. Brandon's question
yeah,
real
sure.
quick because
Yes.
that would be a nice thing to talk about.
Yes.
Short answer is no. I am not concerned over safety record. It is just purely the certification process. Um, the FAA is obviously scrutinizing Boeing a little bit more over some of the things that have happened over recent years. I think Boeing's on a great track with their new CEO. Um, I think it's a lot of bureaucracy and politics that go involved, lobbying and stuff like that. But short answer, no, and I can't wait to see it flying. I have a friend that lives out in Washington, and one of the times I was visiting him, we went up to Payne Field to see their little flight museum that's up there. Um, Washington was still under some like heavy COVID regulations, so the tour hadn't opened back up yet. But we just happened to be there when they were sending a 777-9 up for a test flight, and just a magnificent plane, man. It was empty, so it felt like it was not rolling down the runway for 3 seconds, and it was already rotating and just going straight up. It was very cool. I hope that some U.S. airlines end up ordering it because I'd like to see them, around here. Right now, it's just a lot of European carriers and some Middle Eastern carriers. But yeah, to finish up, no, not concerned about it at all, and can't wait to see it.
Yeah, what a plane that's been to see. Just the videos. Like, you've had the opportunity to see that thing in real life, but the videos that I'm seeing, those engines are just absolutely massive. I mean,
Dude, it's huge. It's bigger than the 300 ER.
ugh,
Like it's massive. It's
that's great.
crazy.
That's just great stuff. Yeah, I hope some US carriers decide to place some orders for that too. I know the first couple ones were supposed to go over to Lufthansa, and then Emirates and
That's
Qatar
still the
have
launch
some
carrier, I
there.
think.
Yeah. So
Dakota, I agree with you. Every time I fly Southwest, it drives me nuts, even when I get a good boarding position, because I know there's going to be 45 pre-boarders, and I'm still going to be sitting in, even though I'm A20, I'm still going to be sitting in row 14 because the plane's a quarter full before they even get through the A group. So I completely agree. I like assigned seating. I like knowing where I'm going to sit. It completely takes a lot of the anxiousness out of the boarding process for me
yeah,
also.
the one thing that I do see a lot of repeat complaints about and are somewhat justified is about the overhead bin space. And I don't know if it's these people just don't know how to use overhead bins correctly, or what the real deal is with that. Because,
Where do I put my bag?
eh,
Do I put it here? Do I put it here?
I
Where
mean,
do I put my bag?
I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like this in my life. Like, if it's as bad as these people are making it out to be, then I have some serious questions for Southwest frequent flyers. Because if you're sitting in row 30, Ryan, what row would you put your bag above?
There's a pretty solid chance that I would put it in the row 30 adjacent
Okay.
area.
Okay, so I'm not the only one here. I'm not going absolutely insane when I see that
No,
people sitting in row 30 are getting on the plane, putting their bag in the first overhead storage bin, and then walking to row 30. Like, that's not normal, is it?
no.
Okay, good. Glad
Tom
we're in
Segura
agreement.
has a great bit about that, and how he one time saw a guy. He was sitting in first class, and a guy got on and tried to put his bag in the first class bin.
Hmm.
And he says he saw it happen. He got up and took the guy's bag out and just threw it down the aisle. And he
Oh,
said the
yeah.
flight attendant like looked at him like in a way that was like, "You shouldn't have done that, but I'm not mad about it."
Well, so here's another complaint that I see about Southwest. In a sea of all the complaints about Southwest, I see that flight attendants are actually blocking off the first two or three overhead bins, which is not unheard of. Okay, I mean it's
Mm-mm.
not. I have
Flight
heard of
attendants
that
have bags
before.
too.
So right, I mean, but people are complaining about that too, and it's just this Facebook group is really a good read. We're actually going to switch over and read some live on the air right now, which is
I love this.
probably we're going to dig through and find some good ones here, I think. But we're gonna look through here. Let's see, Richard Connor, fourth flight without a doubt. Seating is much slower than open seating. I mean, I do
Yes,
get that.
that's how
I understand that.
that works. Yes, yeah.
Oh, time to start flying with other airlines. Southwest's new system is trash. Fine with the assigned seating, but what is up with this BS that only the card holder on our Southwest cards get to fly, get the perks to fly? That's an interesting one. Maybe,
Yeah, that's how that works too.
yeah,
I mean,
maybe fly another airline and see how that. Yeah, because I'm not the card holder, you're going to screw me over. Yep. Fly with another airline. I'm
yeah,
sure they will change that.
get the card.
Right
Like, just get the card. It
now,
does if you don't even want to use it and they're going to give you a 45% interest rate, just put it in your drawer and put
right?
it
Yeah.
on your freaking Southwest account. And hey, guess what? You're a card holder now.
There you go. New system in Southwest is the worst. Paid extra for seat 13. Still had the gate check your bags. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Great. I don't believe that.
Gate checking bags does piss me off,
I don't
but
believe. I
like,
simply don't believe this post. I'm sorry. Like,
all right, it's not clear enough on my screen, so I can't read it. So you're gonna have to read it out loud.
okay, this new system at Southwest is the worst. I paid extra for seat 13. Still had to gate check my bags. I used to early bird every flight and never had an issue. Now I'm paying more and still not able to carry on, considering other airlines. I just
There are other airlines.
There
I
are
mean,
other airlines, but I'm not sure. I'm simply just not sure about that one. There was one that I saw earlier. I think it was written by AI. We talked about this before we went live here. Here it is. All right. So, anonymous participant is red flag number one here. Okay. And as Fred tweeted the other day, M dashes used here are red flag number two. Okay.
yeah, nobody types like that.
Exactly. All
Nobody
right.
types like that unless they're writing a college paper.
Correct. Which I have done that.
Even then, maybe they still don't. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't. I do, but I guess I don't even think everybody knows where the button is, but anyway. So I experienced a new assigned seating policy on a recent flight, and honestly, it felt excessive. This is off to a great start. The plane was about two-thirds empty, yet most passengers were packed into rows 19 through 26, with the front and the back of the plane completely empty. After boarding, several of us asked if we could move open seats. The answer? No, unless we had requested it at the gate and paid extra. There was no safety issue, no balance concern, just a hard no. First off, I want to know, how do you know there's no safety concern or balance issue? Are you a certified Boeing 737 pilot, Mr. Anonymous Participant? Okay. Other airlines routinely allow passengers to move once everyone is on board as long as the plane remains balanced. This policy felt more about the fees than passenger comfort, especially when there are plenty of space. Sharing photos, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I have a couple thoughts about this at first. Um, yes, I have been on flights for other carriers where if the plane is empty, they will allow you to spread out of your assigned seat. Most recently, on my last flight from Newark to Dulles on the United 737 Max, it was very empty, so the flight attendants were letting everybody spread out. Okay, I get it. However, here's my thing with Southwest. I think they're doing the thing that and this is something that I have experience in, the new teacher, okay, brand new teacher fresh out of college has to do. They have to come in, and at the beginning of the year, they have to be mean and they have to assert their dominance and they have to be like, this is the way it's going to be. And then slowly, as the year goes on, as the kids get better, they relax and they calm down and they become the chill teacher. I think that's what this situation is here because I have heard about flight attendants not letting people move, and I know that other carriers let them do that. So that's my thought here, but I do think that this is funny that these are the blurriest pictures in the world. They show a full cabin and it's written like it was written by someone using AI.
Yeah, it's a really good analogy, and I was kind of thinking the same thing. It's a new policy for everybody, not just you. The flight attendants are
Yep.
having to change how how they operate these flights, just like everybody else is. So yeah, I agree. I think give it a year, give it 2 years, something like that, and they'll chill out. But like, I mean, I'm sure they're under some kind of I mean, I don't know if they would like, you know, put like I don't know. I don't know if they're being like monitored or anything during this
Right.
process by like, higher ups in the company just to see that they're I mean, it's a big change. It's a big
It
change
is.
for everybody. So yeah, I agree with you completely.
Someone's complaining
Southwest
about
let
the nuts. That's I've never gotten a complaint about that before.
Marshmallow says Southwest let me sit in the cockpit. Yeah, literally all you have to do is ask.
Yep.
That's another thing that I've discovered pretty recently too. I've sat in flight decks of American and United 737s before, and yeah, they're really cool. Um, I think it's best to ask before the flight because by the time you're boarding, they've already they're already pretty much done. The pilots have done pretty much everything they need to do, and they're a lot more like they're just kind of waiting for boarding to finish and they're ready to go. So yeah, you just walk up there and they're like, "Hey, is it cool if I sit in there?" And they'll be like, that they're usually always very very nice about it, and yeah, they'll even take your picture sitting in the seat. It's
Yeah,
great.
I mean, sometimes you are met with a flight attendant who doesn't want to let you in, and then all you have to do is tell the co-pilot that you're going to your friend's bachelor party, and they'll let you in. And so
If you tell them that you're heading to your bachelor party, the the pilot will actually overrule the flight attendant that's trying to get you to go to your seat and say, "No, you guys get up here," which was very cool.
we love United. United really
Yeah,
turning a corner out there, aren't they?
they sure are.
All right. Speaking of United, we're gonna flip flop a little bit here. I felt like that was a good segue. United for years has had some Airbus A350s on their order log, I guess I would call it. And they keep pushing the announcement of these A350s back and back and back and back. And finally, I mean, I saw this coming. I think we've talked about this before. We never saw United taking delivery of these A350s happening. It was just
Yeah,
not ever going to happen. They have
it doesn't make
pledged their
sense.
allegiance to Boeing and the 787 for years. And so, according to their latest SEC 10K filing, United has officially removed the A350 from its expected aircraft deliveries. So, there were as many as 45 at a later date.
Mhm.
But they are finally axing that from their fleet plans, which I think we agree on this. I think it's a good move. I think the less Airbuses we have in the sky, the better. Uh,
I
especially
could
in the
not agree
United
more.
States.
I
No,
could not agree more.
I mean it comes down pretty much to a wide body fleet continuity thing,
Mhm.
and throwing a random Airbus in there is not a way to streamline their fleet operations and training their pilots. I think that makes it a lot more difficult there.
Yeah, and capability wise, there's not really much that the 350 is going to give you that the 787's not, or that the 787 can't. So like, it just doesn't make sense to, uh, have to train new pilots. I mean, what would you even do? Would you just hire a bunch of people that are already Airbus type rated and train them up on the 350, or like, because all they have right now is narrow body Airbuses. So
Correct.
like, that's a lot of training cost. And I believe that the triple and the 7.8 share a type rating, so I think their pilots can kind of jump back and forth on that.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, they ordered 200 787s. If that's not a commitment to that type, then I don't really know what is.
Yeah. Um, with this though, it makes me think about Delta's 787 order a little bit because it now gives Delta that I don't want to call it a problem, but it gives Delta that you know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's not really a problem. Delta already has wide body Boeing pilots. Just retype them.
Yeah, I guess you could do that too. I have messed this up tremendously.
What
Ruh
did
row.
you do, man?
I made I made it a little bit. There it is. Okay. Well, now we're gonna have to. There it is. Okay. Oh nuts! Have I done this wrong now? Oh, I have. Oh Jesus, Nolan, what have you done? Okay. Hold on. I need to rethink this for a second because I have messed this up. Um, we cut to the technical difficulty screen right now. I made the Discord window. Okay, I know what I need to do. I need to move this here. I need to unfull screen this here, drag it back over here. Nope, wrong screen. Oh, Lord. Nope. Okay, hold on. One more second. This is the... Okay, we thought we were going to get
Disastrous.
through this without any problems. There it is. Okay, now we're back. We thought we were going to get through this. It's only episode 2. All right, we are back. We are back and ready to rock and roll. Let me pull this back up. All right, and that's over on the wrong screen. There it is. Okay. All right. So, yeah, Delta makes more sense than United. Also, I know it's very exciting for both of us. Both of those carriers do plan to take MAX 10s in the future, which is just absolutely awesome.
Yep. Latest I've heard is late this year. Certification there. I don't know what the order book looks like for Delta or when their delivery slots are, but United should be the launch customer for those, I would think.
Yeah, they seem to have the most on order, but the MAX 10 maybe in a way a 757 replacement a little bit. I mean the
Don't
range isn't
don't
there, but we'll see.
don't let Fred hear you say that.
Well, yeah, I don't want to start any wars or anything, but I think I enjoy the 757 just as much as Fred, if not more. So, yeah.
Well, oh, well, it can rotate 40 feet earlier.
Oh, I
And
guarantee you're not flying MAX 10s into Eagle, Colorado, okay? I mean, you can't even get a MAX 8 in that airport.
where there's a will, there's a way.
There
Actually, I don't know.
is.
I've never been to Colorado, so I don't
That
know. You have though.
takeoff roll in the 757 was just exhilarating. I mean, I felt like I was on an aircraft carrier. They held the brakes full throttle and then you go. Like, it's that serious. Yeah, it's cool out there. All right. So I hinted earlier in the show. We're going back to the second bullet point here. If you're following along at home, we hinted at the earlier part of the show that Ryan has been on the channel before, and he will be on the channel again. Talked about this a little bit in the last stream, but I didn't officially like get excited about it. But now it's time to get excited, ladies and gentlemen, about AvCon, because that is coming up on April 4th, and not only will I be there, not only will my lovely girlfriend Dakota be there, but Flying with Ryan BWI is also going to make an appearance at AvCon with us, and I think we're pretty excited about this, right?
Yes, yes, sir. I'm just the emotional support homie, along for the ride. But yeah, I'm stoked. I think it's going to be a great time. It's cool that it's sold out. Um, just such a niche thing that you can tell is still growing, and there's still a lot of people interested in this very, like I said, niche kind of market of YouTube. So there's gonna be some cool creators there.
Jeb.
Gonna hopefully meet Jeb Brooks. He's a guy I really enjoy watching. Yeah, I'm third wheeling. Yep, yep.
The hottest state in
He
town,
invited
the
me. He
AvCon.
in, he invited me first though.
I did. It's true. I don't know if she was
Nah,
actually ever invited.
yeah, yeah. She might not have been, but I mean, girlfriend privilege. So
Yeah,
we all know how that
there you
goes.
go. Yeah.
No, it's gonna be a great time. We're gonna head down to Atlanta bright and early from BWI on that Saturday morning and hang out. And well, I think we're flying back that same night, right? I don't think we're
Yeah.
even overnighting in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the day before Easter.
Yes, it is.
So we
That it
are
is.
headed
Yeah,
back.
it's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
very excited about that. Noel Phillips will be
so if,
there.
so if
Josh
any of y'all are
Cahill.
gonna be there, make sure you
I've gotten a couple
you know,
people
come
reach
say what's
out.
up.
Yep. I think a lot of people are going to actually have tables, and I didn't get a table. We're just going to be circulating the event. So if you see us
Listen,
there, come say what's
listen,
up.
listen. listen. I have an Amazon Basics folding table. Okay. We can check it on our flights.
I get a free check bag on Delta, so yes, we can.
It wouldn't call it a bag, but we'll see. We'll just hold it up and be like, what can you do about this? And we'll just bring it in and
We could put
we'll
it in a
unfold it.
suitcase. We could find a suitcase big enough. I guarantee you they make one big enough.
Now you're cooking, man. Now
Just
you're
saying.
really onto something
Just
here.
saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but hey, we don't need a table. We'll just free roam
Yeah.
and it's probably more fun to not be locked to a certain space and have something to have to watch and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I think free roaming is gonna be the way to go.
Yeah, and also, we've never been to the Delta Flight Museum, so this will be our first time experiencing the Delta Flight Museum, and
That is
I'm
a
excited about that
fantastic
too.
point. Yep.
I've
Yeah,
seen it,
absolutely, man. Yeah, it's
but
gonna be a good time.
yeah, we'll get to explore a couple of those. Ryan. There's a 757 there. Did you know that? There's also a 767 and a 747. So yeah, it'll be fun. I hope those 737 simulators are open. That would be just the cherry on top right there.
Dude, we're gonna get in those things and put everybody to shame.
I okay. So you see the TikToks of people going up to the pilots before they get on the plane, and they're like, "Hey, bro, I have
Oh, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
I have 2,500 hours of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think I could take it from here." But we
Hey, you got it.
are,
Just let me know if you need anything.
yeah, right. We're both pre Microsoft Flight Simulator people, which I think is an achievement in its own right, because you got on X-Plane 11 first, right?
Sure did.
Well, do we want to talk about what you did first?
Well, what I did first was not be able to start the engines because Fred forgot to tell me that I needed to turn the packs
Well,
off in the
I'm
737.
thinking Xbox here.
I
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, we don't need to talk about
Okay.
that.
All
We
right.
don't need to talk about that. No, no.
Well,
That's a
okay. So,
that's a closed chapter of my life.
oh boy. But yeah, we both started. Well, I started in FSX was my first flight simulator, and then I graduated to P3D, X-Plane 11, X-Plane 12. So I've been at it for a while. But you started in X-Plane 11, right?
Mhm.
With the Zebo mod 737. Is that
This is the level up, but
okay?
yeah,
Yep.
basically the same thing. Yep.
Yeah, and I have to say, I know you're not on X Plane anymore or anything like that, but I did recently fly the Level Up V2 for X Plane 12, and it is very nice.
Nice.
Since I accidentally deleted my Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, and I am lacking the PMDG 737-700, if I want to fly a 700, I have that option in X Plane, and I did, and it's a very wonderful plane to fly. So if you ever want to get
Nice.
back into X Plane, it's there for the taking. But I assume, well, I guess the
I don't
700,
have I
it's the
do
only,
not have this
yeah,
do not have the storage for that, man.
yeah. I didn't think I did either, but then I nuked my Microsoft 2020 on accident, and that was not fun there.
That'll free up that'll free up some space.
It was a lot. It was a lot of space. It was a shocking amount of space, actually.
Oh, I know, dude. My community folder for 2020 is like, I don't know, 600 gigs.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Speaking of absolutely insane things, Air Canada decided to put in some orders earlier in the, well, I guess it was last week at this point, earlier in the month for some A350 1000 wide bodies, but
Mhm. Mhm.
they're
Mhm.
not going to take delivery of these things until at least 2030. Early 2030s is the timeline they have set for this. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, they're phasing out their 300 ERs. I think they're kind of old.
Yeah.
They were among the first to receive them, I believe. So it's just future fleet planning. They're going with Airbus. I disapprove of this selection for sure. But I mean, the A350 is still a cool plane. I can't go that hard into the bit, man. The A350 is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, it's the only good thing Airbus has ever done.
Uh, 321 Neo's okay, pretty cool,
You
pretty
are
cool.
so the thing with Ryan is that he really likes the newer metal out there. While me and Fred,
I do.
who you've seen be referenced in the stream so far, we tend to enjoy the classics. We have a taste for the older things out there. But yeah, A350, I've flown on Deltas. Uh, it was better than I'd like to admit, and I can only imagine what the premium levels of hard product in that cabin were like. And curious to see what Air Canada throws out for these, because they're going to keep their A330s and their 787s and rock with the A350 headed forward. I wonder if this will also kind of. I wonder where the 200 LR fits in here for them, because they do have those hanging around too.
Mm, yeah, I don't know. Probably just ride them till the wheels fall off, I guess.
I mean, you can
I'm
do that with a
imagining
triple
the
seven.
one
Luckily,
you sure can. Uh, and after the wheels fall off, actually. Um,
United would know.
I think these 350s are going to be real premium heavy.
Yeah.
So something I'll never get to experience, but a lot of people will, and it's going to be great for them. But huge cabin, yeah, there's going to be a lot of business class seats on those things.
Yeah, and they also have 14 787-10s yet to be delivered. Those are starting service later this year. And also, a thing that I don't like Air Canada doing, and I'm sure you agree with me on this, is that they are in the process currently of removing the 737 MAX from their mainline fleet and shifting all of those operations over to Rouge, their leisure-based
Yeah,
airline. Lame.
yeah, I don't get that one.
But their 321 XLRs are also coming in this year. So massive fleet modernization efforts going on over there at Air Canada. Also taking deliveries of the Airbus A220, which we do not believe in. That is the Bombardier C Series to us. And
Yeah,
we've got to talk about that one too, because Airbus might be um, stepping on their own tail a little bit with this next thing that we're going to talk about here. The A220-500 has been rumored to be a thing that is in the works, and a lot of people are saying out there that this is going to kind of take over the market that is still there for the A320 Neo. However, I will say this: there's only one engine option for the C Series or the A220. Um, and it is the one that does not fly on planes well. There are two options for the A320 Neo, the Leap, and the aforementioned Pratt and Whitney. So, first off, getting this plane into service, if they do decide to go through with production of the A220-500, is going to be another step that they will have to tackle at another point in time, because a lot of A220s are grounded, some are being scrapped, and some airlines, I believe Egypt Air, or one of those airlines over there, has just decided to remove the A220 from their fleet in its entirety. So
correct.
I
Yeah.
don't really know what to think about the argument that the A220 is going to kind of overshadow the A320 Neo.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what happens when the French get involved, right? They do silly things like this. Yeah, I don't have a ton to add to that. Yeah, they're making two different planes that are going to serve the same purpose. Uh, there's nothing wrong with 320 Neo, tried and true, other than the PW ones,
Right.
but it's uh, I just don't see a reason to deviate from it. You know, common type rating with the current engine option. There's no cross training. There's no new training really needs to be done. It's just here you go. Here's your new jet. Get in and fly it.
Right.
I don't believe the 220 is the same way, considering it is a Bombardier plane that Airbus slapped their name on. So I don't really know what they're thinking, but I hope it doesn't work out for them.
But so I do agree with the hoping it's not going to work out, because there's just no point in it, and I feel like they are attacking a market that's already saturated, and they are ignoring the market that needs to be covered, which is, when the 757 and 767 will be retired. What do you do there? And I think Boeing has geared up to basically say without saying that the 797, whenever that decides to show up, will be somewhat of a replacement for one or both of those aircraft types. So it doesn't. I don't know about the A220-500, but we will see what happens. An avid aviator who's in the chat made a video about this a couple weeks ago, so go check that out. He dives into it in a little bit more detail than we just did there, but again, an interesting thing happening in the world of Airbus, and they should really just kind of try to cease to exist as a company, I think.
Absolutely, 100% agree. Bring back the Boeing monopoly.
Yep. Resurrect
Boeing supremacy.
Lockheed Martin's commercial aviation division.
Well, they didn't have a ton of success there, so
No, but they
let's
should
calm
have.
down.
The L-1011 was so good. It was so good.
So
You
ugly.
have to go back to the Electra to really, and we're talking about turboprops here. So, yeah, not.
Listen, man, Lockheed is busy making the greatest weapons that the world has ever seen. Okay, just let them do that.
Yeah, the the A320 Neo has a backlog for decades, and A220-500 we have a much lighter order sheet. I mean, yes,
It's a
that is
decent
true.
point.
Yeah,
Decent point, but also it hasn't even been announced yet.
right.
I mean, you got to build them. I mean, you got to certify them. You got to do all this. I feel like it's I mean, it's definitely a fair point, but yeah, I mean, it's not like if you place it now, you're taking A220-500s on delivery next year. Yeah, there's a ton of backlog for the 320. But hey, if you're in the market for a 320 Neo, just buy one from Spirit.
That's
Right?
also true because I love that you did that. That's
You like
great.
you like
Very
that segue? That
professional
was
there.
good. That was
That's
good,
awesome.
wasn't it?
Spirit sold 20 planes this week, but they have also recalled 250 flight attendants that were furloughed. So they're selling planes, but recalling workers. They have a staff shortage and they have a bid. There's a whole bunch going on with Spirit that we've got to talk about here. So let's start with the planes. They sold 20 planes, okay? Oh, my CNBC ad popped up there. They sold 20 planes. They are trying to emerge from their second bankruptcy in less than a year, okay? And they're really just trying to get as much money as possible. It scaled them down to 94 aircraft, but they said that it's consistent with their plan to focus on the strongest routes and the most efficient fleet. So it didn't dive into the numbers of what this article doesn't, at least specifically what they sold, but we can assume from that quote that it was none of their new engine option airplanes.
Well, those are also on the ground. So
That's true. Yeah. Pratt and Whitney really messing everything up, aren't they?
yeah, they sure are. And I really love the Spirit business model decision to beg and plead for investors to give them some money so that they can continue their operations and not have to render hundreds and thousands, maybe even thousands of people jobless. And then they finally do get a little extra money, and then they're like, "Let's paint a Christmas sweater on a plane."
Let's waste all of this money on blue
That's
paint.
a fantastic allocation of funds, Spirit. I can't imagine why you're going through what you're going through right now.
Well, also, it cannot possibly help having as many liveries as they've had in like the last 10 years. You remember that picture that I sent the other day? It was all three liveries lined up at BWI in 2017 right next to each other. They had the gray Pixels, the Skittles, and then the yellow taxi cab. So, yeah. Painting is they waste a lot of money on paint over there at Spirit. But yeah, this Louisiana business guy, okay? I read this article over on Simple Flying earlier today that we have a businessman from Louisiana, John Miller here, okay? He wants to buy Spirit and transform them and have a hub in Louisville or New Orleans,
Baton Rouge
Louisiana.
or New Orleans,
Yeah.
of course.
So first off, this is almost as crazy as the Frontier Mega Hub in Cleveland that has been proposed out there.
That's a deep cut.
We can talk about that in a little bit. But this is just absolutely wild stuff over here. He owns the Louisiana Country Club, and he wants to shift it. Um, I just he wants to add premium cabins to Spirit planes. Come on now.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, he is right. There is demand
Part of
for
the
premium
part
cabins.
part of the reason they're going under is because people don't want to fly them because their planes are not comfortable to fly
Right.
on, among many other reasons. But the we've talked about you and I have talked about this a lot, but the ULCC model just doesn't work in the States, man. I'm not sure how Frontier is doing. I mean, I assume Frontier is doing pretty well, but I don't. It just doesn't seem like a model that works. When you look at like Ryanair and EasyJet over in Europe, and yeah, they sell those tickets for what, £20, £30, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's it's a lot easier to stomach, having your knees dug into the back of the seat in front of you when your flight is going to be 30 minutes long because you're flying from, I don't know, London to Edinburgh or whatever.
Right.
Whatever it is, super, you know, well versed on the route networks of like EasyJet and Ryanair, but you know, Spirit sells a flight from BWI to Los Angeles.
Right. I mean, you're on the
Uh,
plane for 6 hours, 6.5 hours.
6 hours. If you have Wi-Fi, it probably doesn't work that well. No food service, not even anything you can buy. I mean, you can maybe, I think you offer some snacks and stuff, but it's just not a good experience.
No.
And in the States, a lot of your flights are gonna be what, like 2 hours minimum for the most part. It's just not something that people want to do
Yeah, I
at a
mean,
at a at a rate that's gonna sustain an airline.
I know you've had bad experiences on Spirit before. I've had some not great
One,
experiences on
just one,
Spirit. Okay, just one.
just one.
I've had one weird experience on Spirit, but you can't help a lady having a seizure in the back of the plane, okay? It's not
You
Spirit's fault that
certainly
she
can.
had a seizure. But other than that, the flight was still, I was in a big front seat and it was still, so, I mean, your best seat, when your best seat is, it's not a good sign for your airline. So adding a premium cabin in there would be interesting. Um, however, I think the more interesting storyline in this story is the super mega Spirit hub at an airport that I believe only has one transatlantic flight and not that much international service. Probably less international service than our beloved BWI. They might have a Canada flight though. I don't know.
I'm sure they do. Everybody has a Canada Flight Plus.
Yeah, it's very true. All right, what's else? What else is on the agenda here? Ah, yes. Okay, so a little debate topic here. Um, that we're gonna get into because a lot of airlines are celebrating their 100th year this year, or I'll even open the floor up to Cathay Pacific's 80th year livery. But we've got Deltas from last year.
Is that the green one? Like the
Yes.
white and green one?
Yep.
Okay. That's a
Cathay. Yep.
really, really, really good looking livery.
Yeah. Um, American and United are celebrating 100 years of service this year. American decided to actually use the funds to paint a plane, while United was just like, we'll slap a sticker on it. So, what do you think the
Shameful.
best 100-year livery out there is? Open the floor up to the Cathay 80 years livery, too.
Well, hmm, man. I gotta say I think it's Americans because Delta's is really nice, but it's so much different than their main liveries. And Americans is just like, I don't know. It's their normal one with like the enhancement of the 100 logo and stuff. I,
Yeah.
I I think it's Americans. Delta's is very close though.
I do agree with you.
United's is a shambles, so they should have just not done it. They should have just pretended that it wasn't their 100 years if that's all they were going to do. That's a great shout. Lufthansa's is fantastic, and they're
That's
throwing it
also
on a
true.
bunch of planes too. They're
They
throwing it
are.
on like every plane they have,
And the
which is great.
747. I mean, when's the last time we've seen a special livery enter service is a new special livery on a 747? I think that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I love Lufthansa's 100-year livery. It's phenomenal,
Yeah,
absolutely outstanding.
I do agree. I think I mean, I think I said it in our group chat when we saw what American's 100th year livery was going to be. I was like, I think this is actually my favorite one. I think it's better than Delta's, and but we do agree that we are not too terribly fond of their centennial flagship livery on the 777-300ER
I
that they
hate that
produced.
thing so much. I hate it so much.
It just
It
looks
looks like a toy. It
I
looks like a
it
toy.
looks like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's the kind of vibe that I get from it.
It's awful. It's awful.
I wish they would have at least tried to go the polished metal route like they have on the 737, because that actually makes some sense. The Astrojet, like, just put that on the 777 and you're good to go. But yeah, I mean, it looks like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I get what they're trying to do,
Pretty bad.
and I do appreciate it. And American, obviously, they have the best special liveries. Mm, I don't know who has a better special liveries collection, Southwest or American. I think it's.
Southwest. Southwest.
I mean,
Southwest.
yeah, Maryland won. I think we're a little bit biased there, but the state flags are cool. The retro liveries are cool.
I actually like Arizona one a little bit better.
Arizona one is.
Sorry.
Colorado one is very good. I like Tennessee one. I don't know what everybody else feels about Tennessee one. I quite enjoy Tennessee one. They have a whole plethora, and they were pretty much like the first U.S. airline to like go hardcore with the special livery. Like, you had a here and there from maybe Delta or American back in the day, but Southwest was the first.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I do like Americans' repertoire of special liveries, especially they carried the retros over from U.S. Airways, then they painted their
Mm-hmm.
own on the 737s, and then now you're expanding into the 777. I mean, it's kind of it's the thought that counts thing for me with American. Like, I appreciate what they're trying to do. Not all of them are hits, but you're not doing what United's doing out there, you know?
No, because there was no thought put into what United did.
I mean, if you
They
guys
were
haven't
like they were
seen it,
like, "Oh, that." They were like, "Oh, that's due today. Oh, here's a sticker." Ah.
I'm trying to find a clean picture of it really quickly. Um, but if you haven't seen it, they just kind of slapped a sticker on the back of the oh, that's not that. Boy,
Yeah.
we're struggling.
What's what's up, Jody? How's it going?
That's my dad. You've met him
Good to
before.
see you. Oh, what's up? What is up?
But
America
yeah.
West is a great shout for sure.
Yeah.
That's top tier.
Actually,
Absolutely.
US Airways, when I did my video on America West, I've flown on that livery before, by the way. Flew that up when it was a
The
319 up to Boston. Um
319. Mm-hmm.
let me find this one because this is a good one. US Airways had a second America West retrojet. Not sure if you remember the older um livery there, but they had this one, which we're gonna open in a new tab, of like the older off-white
No, I
color
had
scheme.
never seen that before. That's
Yeah,
tight though. I
I
like
like
that a
that
lot.
one. It's a very good one. So they were running two for a while. So thank you, Julian. I appreciate that very much. All right, so now we're going to put the tinfoil hats on for a segment here that we're gonna talk about. It's a conspiracy theory. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist. The extent of my conspiracy beliefs probably get into Bigfoot. And I don't know what your conspiracy theory beliefs are, but
I have quite a few,
oh,
but I don't know that we need to get into this.
darn, I was going to ask you to share one. What do you think the most mellow conspiracy theory that you're comfortable sharing with the group? What is the most mellow conspiracy theory that you believe in?
Hmm. I think that they know exactly how to cure cancer, but
Okay,
they make too much money off of treating it.
interesting. That is, I can't say I've heard too much rumble about that one before, but that's an interesting one. That Spanish scientist would, he might agree with you now at this point, actually,
They
considering
might.
all things considering. Well, my conspiracy theory that I am proposing to you tonight, my friend, is that seaplanes do not exist.
You know, I would put at this point I would put seaplanes in the same category as birds, and as we know that they are not real. Um, I don't know about you. I've never seen a seaplane before.
Can't say that I have.
I've seen some very clearly AI generated images of a seaplane, but yeah, they're not real. They're fake news. They don't exist. Um, it's just, you know, more stuff from the fake media trying to distract us from the real things that are going on.
And I think the only instance of seaplanes we've ever seen is actually the Miracle in the Hudson. I would put that under a maybe category.
I wasn't ready for that. Oh man, I wasn't ready for that. I was like, "Where's he going with this?" That's absolutely the last place that I thought you were gonna go with that. It's funny.
Oh no! In all seriousness, I, we've been friends for a long time. We always try and mess with each other with the bits and stuff. And I wanted to throw this on the agenda to kind of throw Ryan sideways a little bit here at the end of the show, even though he got a sneak
I
peek
said,
of it before we
I
started.
do wish you would have just dropped that on me because I can't say I would have known what to do with that.
I just wasn't sure how you were gonna how you were gonna take it, but I will. I'll keep that in mind for future reference. There.
You should just have one. You know, I'm happy to come on whenever. I'm sure you've got better guests lined up. But I'm happy to come on whenever. And whenever I'm on, if you want to just dream up a little bit and just not say anything about it, and you know what, you don't even have to drop it on me at the same time on the show. I mean, you
Yeah.
could just hit me with it right
Just
out of the gate, and I won't
start
know,
with
and
it.
yeah, we'll just figure it
We'll
out.
start
We'll
with a
see where it
crazy news
goes.
story that you've never heard of because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, you could like AI generate an article or something.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. Boy, all right, we've got one more thing to talk about, and it is something that we just saw the other day and we talked about the other day. And I have a regret to share about this topic, but there is a new Delta One lounge in Seattle at Seattle Tacoma International. I guess we're trying to get rid of that branding. It's just Seattle
Mm.
International Airport now, right?
Really?
I saw something they were trying to get rid of SeaTac. Maybe they're still calling it Seattle Tacoma, but they're trying to get rid of SeaTac. But anyway,
I mean, the actual town that the airport sits in is called SeaTac. I don't think they're ever going to drop that.
interesting. Anyway, Delta One's newest lounge has opened up at Seattle Tacoma International Airport, and that is, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with Seattle, that is Delta's main Asian gateway airport. I would argue. So not really a surprise there, but they have a very limited domestic Delta One network from there. I think only DC, I think, is a Delta One route out of Seattle.
I mean, I would love to see this new lounge, but I don't see that ever happening for me. But some of the things that I've seen, the renderings look pretty great. I'm a fan of SeaTac once I get clear of security. I don't know. Have you been there before?
I've never been there. No.
Okay. Um, it's a cool airport, like I said, once you clear security. Security there is always not fun to deal with. Actually, now that I have pre-check, it was a lot easier last time I went there. But yeah, I mean, look at like it's great, fantastic views. That's what you want in a lounge.
Yeah, that's a
Um,
sky deck actually outside there.
it would be really cool for someone to show these renderings to the people in charge of the United Clubs at Dulles who thought it was a good idea to put them
Okay.
underground.
I mean, okay, but the terminal is temporary. You have to admit.
That's what they say. That's what they
Temporary
say.
since what, 84? I think that opened in
Temporary
84.
since '84, much like the
Oh
Bay
boy.
Bridge.
Oh, that thing. Boy. But yeah, should be fun. This is their, I believe, their fourth Delta One lounge. I don't think they have one in Atlanta yet. I think it is Boston, JFK, Los Angeles, and now Seattle. And my regret is that when I took that one Delta One flight from JFK to Los Angeles back a couple summers ago, it was like literally a month before the Delta One lounge opened at JFK, and I would have had access to it had I just waited. I've never been, so let's say
Yeah, it is. It's cool. Like I said, it's a cool place once you clear security. I don't know what's going on with security at that place. I don't know if they just have a lot of volume and the design, it's a strange design terminal for sure. I don't know if you can pull up a map of that real quick,
Yeah.
but it's very unconventional. Um, I think they've probably expanded far past what they had originally thought. But yeah, like this drop off area and stuff as you pull up, it's very chaotic. Um, but it is cool. They got the train network that gets you around real fast wherever you need to be. They got those north and south satellite terminals, which I've been in both of them. They're very nice. It's cool. It's a cool airport,
Is
and if it's a nice clear day on your way out, and you're on the right side of the plane, you can get a great shot of Mount Rainier.
is there a unified security checkpoint? Are you all funneled to one checkpoint, or is it based off of which terminal you're going to?
It's all one
Okay,
basically.
that's
Yeah.
probably why then.
Yeah. The main like atrium part that Julian is talking about is, yeah, it's like dead center, and you kind of really get funneled right into that area. The pre-check one is kind of off to the left, towards the like towards where the S gates are, and there was nobody there luckily the last time. But yeah, they have like this whole like system, and I'm sure they're not the only airport that uses it, but it's like you like pre-book your place in line at security. You like pick an arrival slot basically,
Hmm.
and I think it's a way of them trying to reduce traffic, of just trying to reduce congestion going through security, because it's a big problem. They're also still doing construction there, so maybe
Yeah.
that um yeah, choke point much. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It is a funnel. It
Yeah.
is absolutely a funnel. Um I know we got to get going here, but this reminded me. I got a chance to check out back in October the brand new terminal at San Diego, and phenomenal, dude.
I've heard that. You
Really,
did
really,
say that.
really nice.
I really like where United States airport terminal architecture is headed as a whole. I know we talked
Hmm.
at the top of the show about Salt Lake, how we had that impromptu layover at Salt Lake. That was very nice. I've heard great things about the new terminal up in Pittsburgh. And we had planned to
Yep.
go there. Was it today that we were looking, or tomorrow, or one of those days? I think
I think it
our
was tomorrow.
our
Yeah.
projected day for that trip was actually going to be tomorrow, which is funny. And
Hmm.
like you say, San Diego out there. I've yet to check out the new AB connector at BWI, but I'm sure
Hmm.
that it is fantastic as it is unnecessary. Um,
Well, Nolan, we could check it out when we go to. Oh wait,
no, we can't. No.
no, we can't, because BWI is not connected post security. So we can
Um,
go through security in the AB
we
area, and
can.
then we can say that's cool, and then
Yep.
we can leave, and then we can go back and we can clear security again, and we definitely will not raise any red flags in the TSA system.
I mean, last time I had that happen to me, it was at BWI. I was on a Delta flight. It was delayed. I canceled my reservation on the Delta flight, and then I
I remember
rebooked
that.
myself onto Southwest, walked over to the security
Mm.
checkpoint at AB, and the lady looked at me and she was like, "What airline are you flying?" And I was like, "I just rebooked myself on Southwest." So they do know, and they will question it for sure.
Hmm.
Those BWI TSA people, I think, nothing gets by them. Nothing gets by
No,
them.
extremely unpleasant, but at least they're doing their job.
That's okay. Nobody's like Salt Lake City's TSA people, right?
Are we allowed to tell that story on here?
I,
I don't think we are.
I would hold off for that one for maybe a couple more episodes. Maybe the middle schoolers will get
uh,
bored of this show after 3 or 4 episodes, and then we can come back on and tell it. But
hey, you can tell them in class.
there we go. Alrighty, guys. Well, that wraps up episode number 2 of Nolan's Aviation Happy Hour. Once again, big thanks to my friend Ryan. You can go follow him over on Instagram, Flyin'WithRyanBWI. He's got some trips coming up. We've got some trips coming up. We're both going to be, I hope you're going to be making content for these trips. I'm going to be making content for these trips. Hopefully, Ryan will be making some content for these trips.
I'll do my bare minimum of
There you
filming
go.
takeoffs and landings,
Hey,
and that'll
that,
be about that.
that's all you need. There's people
No,
that do
I'm
that
gonna
for a
try.
living.
I'm gonna try to actually like make some. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna actually try, because this feels like something it's worth doing.
Yeah, a couple short videos over there at AvCon. I'm hurting nobody. So, yeah,
Yep.
once again, thank you for coming on the show with me. My first ever guest. Write that down in the Only Nolan's YouTube trivia book. and
Oh yeah.
study for that trivia quiz that's upcoming in, I don't know, 25 years when we go back and look at the replay of the video here. All right, you guys
Yeah,
have
man.
a fantastic night. Once again, thanks for Ryan for joining us. You can check him out in the description below. And well, see you. It's going to be a little bit of a delay. I've got a trip to Florida coming up, going to see some spring training. The next happy hour will probably end up being Friday, March 13th. So we're going to take 2 weeks off here and then come back there. But we've got some really cool people lined up that want to get a spot on the show. So once again, thanks for watching, guys, and have an absolutely fantastic night.